Om Jnana Tamarandasya Jananjana Shalakaya Chaksuhunmenitamena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Kum Karoti Vachanam Pangam Jayati Girim Yakrivatamaham Bande Shri Gurum Dinitarinam Vanchakapadri Vischaki Pasandabheva Chapatitanam Bhavani Vaishnavevyo Namo Namaha. Hare Krishna. It's interesting. I was on my way to Madan Mohan and I thought, oh, let me just stop in the Goshala, offer my obeisances at the Samadhi. I didn't realize Bhakti Madhury Govinda's appearance today. So I came in and I said, oh, I have to say something. Because he was my first temple president. In Gaur Purnima of 1973, I knocked on the front door of the ISKCON temple in St. Louis. Yes, come in, come in. Shaved me right up. You were a devotee. It was just like that. He was never meant for this world. If you knew his mother and father, they were very eccentric and they weren't meant for this world, but they were not devotees, so they were just crazy. But in his case, he wasn't meant for this world because he was meant for Mahaprabhu's world. He was very, very expert at dealing with devotees. Sometimes you have manager, very good manager, not so good with people. And sometimes you have someone very good with people, not the best manager. He was both. And we had 26, 27 devotees in the temple, 4 initiated, all the rest bhaktas and bhaktins. So he treated everyone like we were a family. It wasn't brahmacharis or women. It wasn't like that. Matajis, prabhus. We did everything together. We had 5 classes from Shastra every day. First class was Srimad Bhagavatam. Then after Srimad Bhagavatam, breakfast prasad, as much sweet rice and halava as one man could eat. That was your breakfast. Then 1 hour of cleaning. Then back to the temple room. Shriya Shopanasad class, second class. After Shriya Shopanasad, Nectar Devotion class, third class. After that, noon arti. Bhaja Baka Tava. And he would lead the kirtans. So wonderful kirtans. So enthusiastic. And he could play mridanga like anything. Not fancy like everybody does nowadays. No, he just played standard Prabhupada beats and kirtans were nice. And then go out on streets, Sankirtan. He would take us out, Dodi, Kurta, into the streets doing Harinam. We went to the park one time, big park there, on a Sunday, set up. The policeman came and said, you have to leave. He said, no, we're not going. If you don't go, we'll all go to jail. All right, we'll go to jail. So they brought paddy wagon up, 20 devotees. They put us all in there, took us to jail, put us in the cell. Makanlal, as we knew him then, he said, all right, let's do kirtan. So we're sitting there, all right, that's enough, you guys get out of here. He let us all out. So, and then after street kirtan, we would come back, shower, Gora Arti. Enthusiastic brahmacharis and brahmacharinis bouncing off the walls. And then we would have Bhagavad Gita class. After Bhagavad Gita class, we would go to the prasadam area, hot milk, and listen to Krishna book. 5 classes every day, and he gave them all. He was knowledgeable. And very, very dedicated to the lotus feet of Lord Nityananda. At that time, our temple was a row of buildings, so we couldn't go around the temple. We would do parikram, the entire block. So every morning after Mangalarti, after Tulsi Puja, he would have all the devotees line up. Summertime, wintertime, it didn't matter. And do 3 parikram around. Everyone chanting. And you would be walking and chanting, and he would come up behind you and say in your ear, are you ready for the mercy of Lord Nityananda? Always thinking like that. He became very, very dedicated to the lotus feet of Krishna. And produced one book. We used to call it the Nectar book. The Nectar book. All quotes from Prabhupada's books about the importance of taking shelter at the lotus feet of Krishna. And this wasn't a published book. It was a, Xerox copy back in the day. And we all read it and knew it. And he would train all of us. paintings here and there of Krishna's lotus feet. Push your head on them. There was one stairway to the basement, and there was an overhang there. So Krishna's feet were painted there, and the words were written, "Place your head here for shelter." This was all his arrangements. He was very expert at training devotees and very, very careful about not offending devotees. He, like I say, even he was married at the time, his wife, and they were running the temple, but no one felt any difficulty. I only found out years later, financially things were a little difficult, but everybody was very happy. We were very satisfied. Classes were going on, kirtans were going on. The 73, so let me see, the summer of 1973, he wanted to take all of us to Rath Yatra in San Francisco, because this was where he had joined. And he was, out there in those days with Prabhupada. So we put everyone in a van, 8 or 10 brahmacharis, and we drove across country. The ladies didn't come for that day, you had to stay back. So 8 or 10 brahmacharis, and we drove across the country to San Francisco. And in the morning in the van, pouring water on, wake up. So we went to the San Francisco Rath Yatra. We went to the Los Angeles temple. There was no Rath Yatra at that time in Los Angeles. This was 73. And always doing book distribution. Very, very focused on having the devotees do book distribution and Harinam. So then we came back. Now, the next thing he organized, he wanted these young devotees, we were all very, 20, 22 years old maybe. He wanted us all to experience Sri Mayapur Dham. Now this was before Kartik was a big thing. No one came to Vrindavan for Kartik back then, So we were going to go to Mayapur for Gaur Purnima in 1974. He made an arrangement. Everyone go out on book distribution. Whatever you collect, 10% you can keep in personal fund for your ticket to Mayapur. So all the devotees were doing, and we had 25 devotees in the temple. We took 13 to Mayapur that year. Practically the temple shut down. So we all went for Mayapur. He arranged everything, arranged the tickets, we had to get shots back then, arranged the passports, everything. He took care of all of us. He was our father. We didn't have to, anything. We went to Mayapur. He would go on the morning walks with Prabhupada. You've seen the pictures. He's right there with Prabhupada asking questions and Prabhupada's answering. So then we came here to Vrindavan in 74. Jamuna and Guru Das were here at that time. I got to assist them. He said, you go and find them and you help them. You'll learn a lot from them. He was always pointing us in the right direction. At that time, he purchased Gaur-Nitai deities. Nitai Gaur, no, not even that big. Nitai Gaur Nataraj. And before that, we were worshipping one picture of the Chaturatma. And when you got your Brahmin initiation, he would let you come. You could take cloth and wipe down the picture. Very carefully. No, not like that. Oh, yeah, like that. Okay, good, Trained us all very nicely. And then we did the installation for Nitai Gaur Nataraj. Satsvarup Das Goswami was our GBC. He was there. Several other devotees were there. I got to assist in the installation, and then he trained me to become their first pujari. And he was very careful about deity worship. You had to be very clean and do everything correctly, and very thoughtful, very, very thoughtful like that. So he was arranging all like this. Srila Prabhupada never came to the St. Louis temple. He would come to Chicago or Detroit. So when Prabhupada would come to Chicago, which is only 5 short hours from here, he would have us take the deities, put them on a palanquin, put them in the van, and we would go to that temple. Then take the deities out, put them on the altar there. And so then we would stay with Prabhupada. Chicago, 1974, Chicago, 1975, Detroit, 1976. In 1976, we were in Detroit, and our GBC, Satsvarup Maharaj, asked Bhakti Madhury Govinda, who's taking care of the temple? He said, no, we closed the temple. All the devotees came to see Prabhupada. He said, oh, you can't have the temple closed. You have to have Sunday feast. Oh, but I can't send the devotees back. They don't get a chance to see Prabhupada. We'll ask Prabhupada. So they went into Prabhupada's room, Bhakti Madhury Govinda Swami, Satsvarup Maharaj. So Satsvarup, Prabhupada, they've closed down the temple. and there's no one to give Sunday feast for the non-devotees, and they've come here to see you. Prabhu said, oh. Said, I think they should go back. Prabhu said, oh. Where are the deities? They said, oh, the deities are here. We brought them. They're on the altar. Oh, the deities are here? Then the temple is here. The devotees can stay. So Bhakti Madhury Govind Maharaj arranged all these things, not for himself, because he had seen Prabhupada already, but for all of us. He wanted us to get that experience of seeing Prabhupada. Very, very thoughtful like that. And he would arrange all the different activities around the temple just to help us grow in our Krishna consciousness. After some time, things changed. Radha Damodar took over the St. Louis temple, and management structure and all was different, and moved on to other things, much bigger things, as we see here. But he was such a wonderful devotee, so kind. Some said a little eccentric, but if you're going to go back to Godhead, you have to be a little eccentric and not be attached to this world. You know, not so comfortable here. You want to be somewhere else. So that's how he was. So when I walked across here and just happened to see, I said, oh, I have to tell these devotees about him. Such a wonderful devotee. You know, so many of our older God brothers, they're gone now. And unless those of us that had their association tell all of you, how will you know? You may have known, oh, he was a temple president sometime. Yeah, but did you know he gave 5 classes every day? Did you know he took all the devotees to Maya? Like that. So these are nice things to know to help you understand. Before he became guru like he is, you know, he was very attentive and careful for us. So anyway, I don't want to take up too much of your time, but I thought important that somebody say a little something about him. And especially since I just happened to, you know, stumble across here. Yes. And he loved American food. Wasn't so keen on Indian food. Not so keen on it. We used to get, because the temple was not so profitable, we used to get government surplus. And so for going out on Sankirtan, they would make these things. They would take peanut butter, you know peanut butter, yeah, and brown sugar. Boom. And this would be our sweet. And he would challenge, how many can you eat? And always very nice prasadam was made for the devotees. Oh, this was, of course, the time of hippies. And so the Sunday feast, because the big main park was very close to the temple, all of these young people would come. Oh, I'm not bathing, particularly the feet, you know. Oh. So they come in and sit in the temple room, and oh. So he said how to do this. He said, oh, when the guests came to Dwarka, Krishna washed their feet. So when these people come, we'll set up a thing outside the temple, because there was a very big entrance porch. They can sit down, we'll wash their feet. They can come in clean. They won't offend the deities, and they won't offend us. So, in one hand, oh, how can you touch? But on the other hand, service to others so that they can nicely come to the temple. So he was always thinking like this. So I felt myself very fortunate. Actually, I came from one commune, and there were 11 people in the commune. 9 of them all moved into the temple, 1. And I was near the end of the line. And all the others before me, very scholarly. Verses and Bhagavad Gita, and they knew all before coming. They were reading and studying. When I came, I never saw a book. I never read a book. I didn't know who is Arjuna. I just knew, this is Prabhupada, this is what I'm supposed to do. I don't know, but... And so he told me later, he said, when you first came, if I'd have known that you knew as little as you did, I wouldn't have let you move right in. I thought you were one of these scholar devotees. And now, of course, years later, I've learned a couple of things, but he was always very kind like that. So thank you. Give me a chance to say a few words about him. He was very dear to us, just like a father. And for me to have stumbled across here at this time, it's really quite amazing. Thank you so much, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.